to In the Now podcast. This is season 2, guys.
Season 2.
Yeah, and our setup is different today.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Because we fancy like that.
Yeah. We recorded another episode and we want to record this one right after. So that's why.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you doing? How's life? How is everything?
How's life?
Yeah.
My days, we just jumping.
Yeah. This is also a random episode. We don't
Very
have a
random.
script. So bear with us. I don't know how the conversation is going to go, but we always somehow have a great conversation. So let's go.
How am I doing?
What's on your mind?
Don't do that.
Why?
Don't do that.
I will for sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm doing well. You don't believe me?
I mean, you hesitated for a little bit, so how can I know? There was a small hesitation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I am doing well. I'm doing well. I recently traveled.
Yeah.
To okay, let me not say where, because then like people are going to put
yeah. So the dots together.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say where I went to, but
yeah.
So yeah, I traveled, and then we had this like amazing event, and like overall, I'm just really excited for what God is doing in Finland, and like I've heard people say that like Finland is going to be a place where missionaries go like to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And like something like God is really moving in Finland and blah blah blah. And I'm super excited for that.
Yeah.
And so like I remember I told you the day of the program that I was really excited for the day.
Yeah.
And so the day came and it was amazing and I was like, oh, God is so good. And then I went to sleep and I was like, why? Like before I went to sleep, I was like, why am I feeling so sad?
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, not like sad as in like, but more of
was it like anxious sad?
No,
or like,
it wasn't anxious. It was kind of like like I feel kind of sad.
Wait, hold on. Now I have to. Is this very recent?
This is like yesterday.
Okay, thank you.
Because we haven't had this conversation.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to pinpoint. When did this thing happen?
Yeah, we haven't had this conversation. I probably was gonna
like you weren't at my place, right?
No. This was like yesterday. Like
okay.
Like yesterday.
Okay.
Like yesterday's event.
Okay.
So after the event,
I got it.
Like I think everyone else like they went out like to somewhere, and I was super tired the whole day.
Yeah.
But then like in the moment during the event, I was like, so hyped, and because
course.
God is moving and stuff.
Yeah.
But then after I was like, interesting. Why am I feeling sad?
Yeah.
And then it hit me that I was in some weird way, almost like mourning a loss that I never had or that I don't have, which is the loss of, well, it's not a loss, but it felt like I was mourning something that I lost, even though I never had it.
Okay.
Which is not having like a life partner, not having a spouse.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, where the heck is this coming from?
Okay.
And I was just like, that's very interesting. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And it just like, I feel like, because usually it doesn't, like, I don't feel like that most times. Because I truly believe that the time is going to come. Like, God is going to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think because in recent times, I've been getting so many, like, oh, God is going to do it. Like, it's coming.
It's frustrating, right?
It's coming. This is it. It's coming. And, like, there's just so much of that. And I was just like, I feel kind of sad that I don't have, like, my person.
Yeah.
But then, I think the real reason I'm talking about this is because I think this morning, like while I was on my way back, someone posted something about, I almost feel like reading it, but I don't have my phone.
Yeah.
So I think someone posted something about how in this generation, worship is going to look different. Like surrendering everything to Jesus is going to look like surrendering engagement rings. Is going to look like surrendering your goals,
your
career. Like there's so many things that like like, because like for example in the Bible, like when they had to lay everything down, it looks like them bringing all their gold and everything to God. But nowadays we have so many things that we have elevated to this, like we have put so many things on this pedestal, and those things are not bad, but if you are going to fully surrender to God, it's going to mean you surrendering those things
to him.
And it hit me, and I was like, what? And that person wrote at the end that like the reason why you need to surrender those things is basically because where your treasures are, there your heart is.
Of course, yeah.
And
That's
if your
Bible.
treasures are not in heaven, like if the thing you hold most there is not in heaven, is not God himself, and just like knowing God, the knowledge of God, if that's not what is like your ultimate achievement, then everything else is going to take that place. And I was like, you foolish girl.
But I don't know if you should even talk to yourself like that, because
I didn't talk to myself like that, but it was kind of like a reminder to me that you cannot stay in the state.
Of course, that one
it's okay.
Like
it's okay. It was real.
Yeah.
It was real to be like, oof, like I feel that. Oof, I want my person.
Was it because of what has been happening recently?
Like what?
Or does it like amplify it?
Like you mean like the whole like feeling like
the feeling, because everybody's getting married, everybody's having babies, everybody's going through it.
Yeah, but not really, because even at the event I didn't see many
Anything.
couples.
Okay.
Like because most people were like young people, teenagers.
Yeah.
Not many people were even married. I didn't see like couples. So it was more of I guess it's something that maybe has been there, but then
for sure.
But then like when you are literally, I was by myself
alone.
Like everyone else went out. I was by myself. So I think maybe that's when my brain
starts processing things.
Yeah.
And I feel like it also happens because you're on the move and you're doing things.
Yes.
And when you're doing things and then you finally have that moment to catch your breath and be like, okay, I'm finally alone.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, hold on, what is life? I mean, it generally happens so often sometimes. Not just like when we're talking about marriage, but other things too. You just think that, hey, I haven't really had time to catch my breath.
Yeah.
Like, how do I feel about life right now? How am I doing? Am I okay? Yeah. Because sometimes you're just going and going and going. But I almost beg to differ from what you said, that worshiping God will look different, because I think it is the same.
No, it is the same, but I just feel like in a generation where there's a lot of focus on like
other things,
on certain things, like you're going to be more you're going to have to be more intentional about surrendering those things, because
worship it remains the same, and God deserves everything anyway. So I feel like in our generation we definitely have a lot of work to do, and I think that we have a lot of mental battles that we have to face, and the things that we have to deal with, because even myself, I catch myself like off guard sometimes, and I'm like, wait, hold on, I'm thinking way too much. Like sometimes you have to really just stop yourself and be like, wait, hold on, what are you thinking? Because if you don't do that, things will come. And when you allow things and emotions and feelings and whatever they are, to come, it can like flood your mind, and then all of a sudden, like you said, you are sad and you are like, oh, like, why don't I have this thing yet? And we are young. Come on. Because there are people that are 30, people that are 40, and they still don't have their life partner. And like, I feel bad for them genuinely, because, well, I'm a people's person anyway, and I love being around people, and I definitely like want to have my own and build my own, which I know that you also do want to have. But somehow also, I don't know, it's all the conversations we've been having recently, and even the guests that we've been having and things like that have given me perspective, in a sense that just trust God. I know it sounds cliche, and some people might be like, what do you mean trust God? And blah 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 blah. That's your business. I will trust
and
him.
I love that, because that's where I want to get back to. I think that's the reason why I had to get out of that place. It wasn't a good place. It's not a place of like, oh, I wish I have this, like I really want to have this, I'm trusting God for this. It wasn't that kind of a place. So I think that's why I had to get out of that and go back to a place where I'm thinking of it in a positive light.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking of it as, God is going to do it. Like,
exactly.
I'm excited for this part of my life.
How are you feeling now? It was yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because that like kind of like shifted my mind
for a bit
back to where it usually is, which is a place of like, it's going to come. Like, it's going to come. And, you know, I want to like, because when I allowed something like that to take the place that God is supposed to have in my life, it will never end well. It could never end. It could never end well.
The thing, like, that's the thing about just anything that you place before God. That's it.
It could never end well.
Work.
So I was like, God, thank you. For letting me see that post and just reminding me that, shift your attention back to heaven.
Yeah.
And back to God and let your treasures be in heaven.
Yeah.
And surrender all of these things to God. It doesn't mean that you're giving them up. Because people might think that surrendering it to God means you're giving it up.
Yeah, because you still hope for it.
You still hope for it, but it's almost like
perspective has changed. It has shifted.
Exactly.
You gave it to God, so it's different.
Yeah, it means that you're submitting it to God.
Exactly.
And you're telling God that, you know, you do what you want to do with this part. So like I'm back to that space. And
you
I'm
are
like,
already back. It's been one day. You got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Glory to God. Because I was like, we're gonna talk.
I mean, of course we can talk. Of course we can talk more and stuff.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, but that's good, and I really respect that also, that you're able to, in a day, it's beautiful that you are able to also shift your focus. And I'm not saying that I'm
not taking credit for that though.
I know it's God, for sure. It's God, baby. But you know, but I'm grateful that you realized what was going on and you quickly acted on it, because that's the thing. If you are not quick with it, you're just going to spiral, and it's just going to go like worse. It will get worse. So I'm happy that you were able to react to it quickly, because it really saves you. But I feel like marriage and just the entire topic is just so I don't know.
Hard.
Exactly. It's really hard for, like, when I think about where I am in right now in my life, definitely I would love to be married, right? But then at the same time, I'm trying my best. I am enjoying myself. Let me not say I'm trying my best. I definitely am enjoying myself, but I'm also trying to enjoy the now. Yeah. Because anytime I run ahead of myself and I'm like, God, why? God, this, that. Like, I should be married. At least engaged. Hello.
God is like, who is you?
Thank you. But the thing is that then somehow God reminds me that in every other moment in my life when I wanted something quicker, when I didn't get it quicker, I was always okay. And it was even better. So somehow I've tried my best and my hardest, especially in those days when it's tough and you're thinking about life and you're like, where am I going? Hello? Where's that gorgeous man? You know? And somehow God reminds me that his timing is so good. Yeah. I don't want to be cliche. That's the thing, because we always talk
These are facts.
Exactly. But
these are facts. Yeah. Like the word of God says that his ways are higher.
Yeah. Than our ways.
His ways are better.
Yeah. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts.
His thoughts for us are thoughts to establish us, give us a hope and a future. They're good. They're not evil.
Yeah, and I think it says in the book of Isaiah that when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. The Lord will do it. Yeah. I can't remember the verse, 33 maybe. Don't judge me if it's not there. I'm still learning.
There's a time for everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like when God will do, and I told you before that God has to do it in a way, because we believe that God is going to do it. So God has to do it in a way that is beyond what I imagined. Because if he doesn't, then you know, because I think the thing about God is that he does things exceedingly abundantly above. Every time he does something, he does it like way bigger. I think it was today during service. I don't know what our pastor was saying, but I was just thinking to myself as I was praying. I think it was prayers. Yeah. I was praying to myself and I was thinking that, I don't even know. I was thinking about future. And then I said to myself that you have to trust God, because if you saw yourself 5 years ago, that you'd be here today, you would not believe yourself. Like, Signorina, you would not believe yourself that you would be this woman and you would have what you have and you would be who you are. You know, I would have not. So just think about yourself in 5 years. This praise, don't worry about it, sweetheart. Like, genuinely, don't worry about it. The praise that we're going to see in 5 years, like, come on. You know, so we just have to somehow keep on reminding ourselves. But also in that, I feel like you have to also work, Because sometimes we get so lazy and we're just like, oh, God is gonna make it work. God is gonna
do it.
Exactly. Oh, the God that sees me, Elroy, and things like that. Yes, he does see you, but he also wants you to move and wants you to do, you know. And even in all of that, your mind, like keeping your mind. Yeah. You know, I don't want to sound like I got it figured out, because I definitely don't. I definitely don't.
How are you doing?
Exactly. I definitely don't, because like this is exactly what I mean when I say that. I don't really cry out so much in public, because I cry out in secret place. Yeah. Girly, if you heard my prayers, the times I've cried, not just about like when it comes to marriage, and I've definitely cried for sure. Let me not lie. But you know, just about everything in life. And I think future, I don't know why, but like my future is so important to me. Like I value it, I cherish it, and I want the best for myself, obviously. Yeah. And you know, but if you see me when I'm in the presence of God, just me and God, and how much I've poured out my heart to him, you would understand why I can even sit and be like, you know, it's cool, you know. And recently I've been doing, because usually when I pray, I have a worship instrumental. Not usually, all the time, in fact. You know, it just helps me to pray. And I was like, there was this one prayer, and I was like, okay, I have to record this prayer. And I recorded. This happened maybe 4 days ago, and then 2 days ago happened another session where I recorded, like as I was praying. And you know, I was like, nah, I have to record this, because I need to remember these things, because you don't really get to that point always. You will not have those moments in prayer always. So I was like, okay, I have to record this prayer. And I think it was yesterday night. Yeah, yesterday you were gone. You weren't at my place. You were somewhere else. And during the night, I was like, as I was praying, I was like, no, I wasn't praying. I was doing something else. I was all these podcast things, of course, you know, editing before I started praying. And I was like, okay, I want to get into like the mood of prayer. I want to already worship. And I was listening to worship instrumental, and then I switched on. I was like, nah, I need to hear like that one prayer that I prayed. And then, like, if I tell you, as I was listening to the things that I said, I was like, this is why I recorded it, because I don't have the same faith today.
Come on.
I don't have the same words. I cannot rise up and say this. I cannot command things this way.
Come on.
I don't have that right now. Right now, I'm just living, and I'm like, you know, not weak, but I'm just normal. Yeah. But that time, I was saying things from the place of faith.
Yeah. It's almost like when people say that you don't pray for your strong days, you pray for your weak days.
Thank you.
You prepare for your weak days.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like that is what will save us, like genuinely, when we, you know, seek the face of God and we pray and all of that. Because those days when you feel like this sadness, just all of a sudden, you know, that sudden sadness, when you feel that, you're able to go back to remember all the promises of God, remember the moments that you've prayed, remember what God has told you in the place of prayer and stuff like that. And it really encourages you, you know? Yeah. But it's an interesting topic, man. It's an interesting topic, you know? But also, genuinely, I feel like we do have time, like genuinely. I know I always say we are getting older, which is a fact, but we do have time, you know. Of course, like in 2 years, if things not moving, I'll be like, hello, everybody, hello, you know. But yeah, but every woman, and every normal woman anyway, goes through this. Yes, of course. Yes, no. Every normal woman will go through this period where you desire to have your life partner. So that's why I'm not weirded out about this conversation, because we talk about this all the time, but now we're talking about like this in front of like other people. But the only reason why I'm so cool with it is because I know that so many people, if not everyone, on the other side are going through the similar things, especially if you are in your 20s navigating life. Of course you'll be thinking about it, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
So how are you doing?
What do you mean?
No, that was my answer.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean? What do you mean?
That was my answer. How are you doing?
In what sense?
No, like in life.
Okay. How am I just doing in general?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Because I went there, but like, you know, how are you doing?
How am I doing? I think that I'm good. I think, no, genuinely, I think I'm good. There's nothing that I can pinpoint and be like, oh, this makes me sad, that makes me sad. I feel like I've recently I've had to pray a lot for my heart. I feel like, that's definitely one thing that has happened. And one thing I love about God, guys, is that God sees everything. I genuinely love him for that, you know. So if there's anything in your life that sometimes you can think, you know, evil or ill about somebody, or somebody did something to you and you like you have forgiven, but still somehow like that feeling like you can't get rid of it and things like that. And even if you want to ignore it, it's still there. You know, it's still there. And then you're like, but why? How can he do that to me or she do that to me? It's from, you know, you get the reference. But anyway, exactly, like how can this person like do that? Or sometimes just you're minding your business and you remember something that happened a long time ago and you're like, why would this person say that? You know, and stuff like that. And I realized that for a period of time a lot of like old things started to emerge somehow, and it affected my heart. And I was like, okay, you know, my heart is heavy, like I can feel it, you know. And it's weird because at one point I felt it even physically, that I feel like my heart is heavy. And I was like, okay, I genuinely have to pray, you know. And I was praying, nothing happened. I pray. Maybe I felt a little bit better, went down again. I prayed. And you know, it was a roller coaster. I think this has lasted for like 2 weeks maybe. You know, it was such a roller coaster. It was annoying. But one thing that helped me, and also for all the Christians when it comes to prayer and things like that, know that you will get to the end of the thing. Know that you will get to the other side of it. Because that 2 weeks, it was tough because I'm like, why am I thinking this way? You know, I should have the mind of Christ and things like that. Right. So as I was praying, I was like, okay, even if today I still feel like this, I know that I'm going to get to the end of it. And holding on to that, because you know that God is faithful, it really, really, really helps you. And I feel like if you have any struggles in life, irrespective of what it is, you know, just know that you can get to the other side of it. So good. When I was battling with this thing, I was like, my God, this thing is just not going. But I don't know. I think it was the prayer. Not the prayer 4 days ago. No, the prayer 4 days ago. I think so. Yeah, the prayer 4 days ago, because the prayer that I prayed 2 days ago is the one that I listened to recently. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the prayer 4 days ago. So this is also very recent. Like that moment, I felt like, okay, I got it. Like I'm done with this entire thing, and that God really helped me. And I feel like God also gave me, like he had to also change my mind, like renew my mind in the process. So it wasn't just a matter of the heart, but also the matter of the mind. You know, because he gave me new perspective. And when you are bothered by little things and old things, it really affects your life. You feel so frustrated somehow. So I really had to get rid of that. And also I feel like it's the same thing. I had to act quickly because I knew that, okay, this thing.
Because you can't stay there.
No, not at all.
Because you'll find reasons to stay there.
Of course, yeah. And especially if you're justified, like someone hurt you. Yeah. Legit, you'll be like okay,
you're wrong.
She did
I'm
that.
Right.
Exactly. And you know, sometimes you just, and the thing is that not just sometimes, all the times, you just have to get rid of those things. Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
like I can't remember like the first time I heard our pastor preach this message, but like since I've heard it, like it has just stuck with me.
Yeah,
how like I think in the book of Corinthians, like Apostle Paul tells the church that I hear that you take each other to court. You guys are fighting, you're quarreling, and you have different sects. But why can't you suffer yourself to be defrauded?
Yes.
Like, even if
you've been quoting this thing. Right? Yeah, you've been quoting
like,
this thing.
Even if this person, like, straight out, like, defrauded you.
Yeah.
And you have the right to take them to court. But just because they are your brother in Christ, or maybe they're not, like, in Christ, like, you guys are not, like, you know, in faith, but still, why can't you allow yourself to be defrauded? Like, why can't you just take it and be like, you know what, it's fine?
I think there was, I don't know what it was, but some moment back in the days, and you said this to me.
Yeah, I think I have, because the thing it has really stuck to me.
Yeah.
Because it was really like, what?
Yeah, but it's a good thing to carry and also live by, you know, because people will wrong you all the days of your life. It will happen. It doesn't matter who you are. You will be wronged. Yeah. So you need to also learn how to let go. And it's like, of course, the world says too that you don't just forgive because of them. It's for you know. But truly, when you forgive, it is for you, also for the peace of your mind, and also for the other person. Yeah. Because you have to have peace. Come on.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Wow.
But somehow we now came to talk about offenses. That's really interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
When last have you been offended?
When last have I been offended?
I'm petty, so I think recently.
Well, it depends on like how you want to like measure it. I can't think of anything big.
That's good. That's real good. Yeah.
I can't think of anything big. But I think like when little things happen, like my brain will get like an alert, like my brain will be triggered, like
same.
And then I have to literally talk to myself and be like, shut up.
Exactly. Thank you.
Shut up. We're going to squash this right now. And we're going not talk about this. Yeah. We will not focus on this. And we are going to be, at the very least, silent.
Exactly. But silence is such a power. Come on.
Yeah. Until you figure out what to do next, just hold it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I can't think of any. Like, I usually, those things that just they like sort themselves out.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything like big because it really depends. Because it's easy to say, oh, allow yourself to be wronged and allow yourself, like, you know, bear the burden of other people and stuff like that. But it really depends on who hurt you. It depends on what they did to you.
Yeah.
It depends on if they've done it before. Like so many things. Because like I think we have to be also like gracious to people.
Yeah.
And not be so quick to judge people that can't let go and people that can't forgive.
Yeah. And give benefit of the doubt. I think that.
Yeah. Because really you've not been there. Like whatever they're going through, even if it sounds little compared to what you've been through, you've not been there.
Yeah.
That's their story. I think we have to give people the space also to process whatever they're going through. And not be so quick to dismiss. I think one of the most unkind things we can do is dismiss other people's feelings and dismiss
that's really hurtful.
What they're going through. Because even if you can't be there for them, don't dismiss what they're going through.
Yeah, that's really interesting. One thing that I've definitely learned from you is that, especially when unfortunate situations, things happen, you remain silent. I know that part of it is just maybe how you grew up, and then,
for sure,
and like then just you just knew, let me just keep quiet before I say something foolish. But then I know that there is the self-control aspect
for sure, especially like being older. Like now that I'm older, it's more about
self control.
Because when I was younger, I didn't always.
It was just pettiness. It was like, I'm not gonna talk.
Yeah. And you'll be rude in your silence.
Yes. That's good. But definitely, and I feel like the older I get, the more I understand why sometimes it's better for you to be silent and for you to keep it, you know. And it's not, I'm not saying that you should bottle all your emotions, but you should be able to regulate your emotions. Yeah. You should be able to have a self-control. Yeah. Like even today, I was like, I'm not even going to talk, you know, because I just knew that if I talk and then I talk again and then I talk again, it's not, who will he help? Yeah. I'm going to be frustrated. You're going to be frustrated. This person going to be frustrated. There's no point in that. Yeah. And I feel like, let me take it back to marriage since we started the conversation, but I feel like, you know, when it comes to complaining and, you know, well, people say nagging, that one too, it's somehow so important for you to deal with that or now that you are not married yet before you enter marriage. Because I think you said something about, you know, some couple that you saw and you were just shocked about the fact that the woman was speaking to the husband that way. Right, yeah. You know,
I don't even think your husband or your wife should have to take that kind of
because even if the person can take it, it doesn't mean that they should. You know,
they shouldn't have to.
And I feel like the more I read about like marriage and the relationships, and also listen to sermons, messages, and things like that, when things happen that are like, you know, people have always warned about these things. Instantly bells are ringing in my head.
I think that's why. Do this. That's why it kind of like hit me.
Like don't do this, don't do that. And I was recently even speaking with someone, and And the person said that it's hard for them not to, if they see a fault, it's hard for them not to, say that, hey, this thing is wrong, And I told the person the reason why you need to work on that is because that will really hinder your marriage in the future.
Yeah.
Like if you can suck it up for a little while, and maybe bring it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or then if it's something that you can let go, then let go. Because if we nag about everything, we're going to ruin our relationships. And I also feel like it's not just about marriage, it's about every relationship in your life.
Yeah.
Like if I pay attention to all the wrongs you do, I will be complaining all the time.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to my wrongs, you'll be like, who is this person? Let me trash her. Or something like that. But okay, not necessarily trash me because I'm precious. But anyway, you might be like, why is she being so annoying? Because there's so many little things that a person does differently than you. And if you can't like let go of things, you are going to be complaining all the time. And nobody likes a complainer. Nobody likes that type of person. Like even the Bible says it's better for a man to live in the corner or at the corner of a rooftop than to live with a contentious woman. Like a woman that is angry, that is nagging, complaining all the time. You would rather live in a corner of a rooftop.
That's
not just
crazy.
the rooftop, the corner. That's outrage. I love the Bible because there's so many like good gems.
Yeah.
Good gems that you can find from the Bible.
I think fruits of the Spirit can do a lot for people.
It does. I love how you're saying it so casually, but it does do though.
Like the fruits,
it's a lot.
The fruits of the Spirit can do a whole lot.
The fruits of the Spirit, one fruit,
one kind of fruit.
Yeah.
Because people think that
it's from Galatians 5, by the way.
Thank you,
folks.
People think that like being a Christian is just like about believing that God is God and that Jesus Christ died for your sin and rose again on the third day and all of that. That's part of it. Yeah. But the real thing that makes you a Christian is the fact that you become a son of God, a daughter of God, by the Spirit of God. Yeah. And you look like your Father. You look like Christ. Yeah. Yeah. The only reason you're able to do that is because that when you confess and you believe and confess and turn from your sins, God himself gives you his Spirit. Yeah. And so you become like, a child of God. And the Spirit of God in you begins to bear a certain kind of fruit. It's God who works in you. It's God. Yeah, that's in the Bible too. And those fruits can really help you in life. Like apart from it will save you. Like God really knew that we need those things because like love, human beings. Yeah. Human beings. Gentleness, kindness, goodness. All of these things. Come on. We're rude. The heart is desperately wicked. What are you talking about? Yeah, we wicked. We are. Yeah. So if you don't have Christ, it is impossible. It's impossible for you to say, I just want to live a good life and have a good morals and whatever. What if your neighbor doesn't want to live a good life? Thank you. What do you do? Because lots of people want to be good people, but what if your neighbor doesn't want to be a good person? It will be very hard for you. And that's the thing. I feel like we need to stop lying to ourselves that we can just be good without Christ. And because that your good is such a poor version of, like, if we compare it to Bible, is a poor version of like the actual good that Bible talks about. Is a very, God very himself. Poor. Yeah. Is a very, very poor version of it. And it has limits. Of course it does. Because these are the things, like somebody hurts you, you want to retaliate. For you to forgive is hard. What will you base like all your good deeds to? It's just you and your mind. You will die there. Come on, man. So it's life without Christ is really, really hard. I know people are living out there. They're living their lives, but that's why they're also struggling. And that's why there are a lot of problems. Even those that are doing well, there are still a lot of issues. There is that void. You can't get rid of it. So I feel like we just have to be honest, because sometimes we see people that their life seems to be good, but I've just learned a long time ago that don't even look at somebody's life and be like, oh my God, they're living a dream. You don't know what's happening inside their house. That's true. You genuinely don't know that. That's true. But fruits of the Spirit, very important. So important. Yeah. I recently also spoke to someone else and we were just talking about like the characteristics, because she was confused about a situation, and I said, okay, let's look at the Bible together. These fruits of the Spirit, are you seeing these things in this person? And she couldn't see these things, and I said, so this is the issue.
this person needs Jesus. It's just a fact, you know. And because I think it's before the fruits of the Spirit, there are the works of the flesh, which are like envy, malice, and other things, whatever they are. Backbiting, I guess, is part of it.
All of it.
And all of it, you know, lying and all of these deceits.
Stealing,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So I said, so if you see these things in the life of a person, you just know that the person is not with the Lord. The person doesn't have Jesus. But when you see the fruits, because there is no point for us to say, oh, this person has been in church for 20 years.
Yeah.
This person has been a Christian for 50 years. Nobody cares if you don't have fruits.
Thank you.
Nobody cares if you have nothing to show for the fact that you've been in church for 50 years. If you've been in church for 50 years, you better show some fruits. You better show some love, some gentleness, kindness, goodness,
meekness, self-control.
Thank you.
Long-suffering.
Thank you. All of these things.
Patience.
Yeah. So this is just a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how we got into this, but
I think like I think we are hearing what we're saying.
Yeah.
And people are hearing what we're saying.
Yeah.
So like I think this is both for us and for people.
Absolutely. But I feel like this is for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It almost feels like God is just like reaffirming everything that he has been doing and saying like to us individually and like collectively.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing.
Yeah. Same. No, seriously, because everything that I also went through, and I was like, geez, you know, this thing is so annoying to like go back and forth with things. But it also just reminded me that I'm a human being.
Yes.
You know, it reminded me that I'm weak, I'm fragile.
Yes.
I don't have it figured out, that I am dependent on God. Because also if life goes so well and I don't see anything, I might be like, oh, it's me that is just living a good life. I'm enjoying myself. But when situations like this come, God reminds me also that I really need him, you know, that he's genuinely there for me, because he answers me when I pray and things like that. So that's so beautiful to say that God answers you when you pray.
Wow.
I had to stop there, but truly, he does answer. He hears my prayers. I know that, you know, I have testimonies. So I feel like that also. And I told you also that recently I've been praying for God's mercy much more than ever before.
Yeah.
Because back in the days, like when I was new in faith, I didn't really pray for mercy because I didn't understand how much in need of mercy I am.
Yes.
You know, so now that I'm older and the more I go through life, the more I see, I just understand that I need the mercy of God more than ever. Even if I seem like to others and even to myself, like, oh, I'm like the best version of myself that I've ever been, which is really good. Thank God. But then I somehow also realized that I'm in need of mercy more than ever before.
And I think nowadays I'm realizing how merciful God is.
Yes.
And how much
kind and
how
patient.
much he's actually been showing me mercy.
Same.
And it's just it's wild. It's wild.
It is. But life with Christ is just so beautiful. So beautiful. It doesn't mean that it's void of issues, because you will face tribulations and troubles.
Because everybody has issues.
Everybody will have issues, that's for sure.
Everybody has issues. The only difference is that you have Jesus in the issue.
Yeah, he's there, like in the storm with you.
In the storm, and also
carry you through. Yeah,
he has the power to actually calm the storm.
Yes, absolutely.
But if you want to do life by yourself, that's fine.
Yeah,
there's nothing special about that.
Yeah,
but
Thank you for saying that. There is nothing special about that.
Special about that.
Thank you.
But you also will not have the King of Kings, Lord of Lords.
Yeah, with you.
Who has all power and is almighty and all powerful with you.
And he's mindful of you.
And he cares about you more than you care about yourself. Actually.
Yeah, but truth.
So that's the difference. That's the only difference. And that makes all the difference.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like Jesus Christ makes all the difference.
Yeah.
All the difference. My God.
He does.
All the difference.
We wouldn't even be the same at all if not for Jesus. We wouldn't even be sitting here. We probably wouldn't even be friends.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't be friends.
Yeah, because we were petty.
Petty.
I love how we always say we were petty, you know, and people might be like, what do you guys like mean?
Yeah,
anyway,
we're mean girls.
Whoa.
Deny it.
Okay, where?
Past tense.
No, we are kind.
We're kind.
Yeah.
What
gentle.
What are the other fruits of the Spirit?
Gentle.
Gentle.
Are we gentle? Kinda, yeah. We are.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
yes, we are.
Yeah,
yes, we are.
yeah.
But that's also really good, like this thing that you're doing now, to go through the fruits of the Spirit and see if you have.
You need to.
things.
It's almost like a mirror.
It is.
Like you wake up every morning,
gentleness,
and you just check yourself.
Patience.
Not because you have the power to change yourself,
but
just so you can be aware and ask God for mercy.
Exactly.
And ask God for more of humility, more love, more kindness, more goodness.
Yeah, I had to pray about patience for a good while.
Yeah, you told me.
yeah, because my patience was so small, but God has done an immense work in my life. I could have not even believed that I'm this patient. If you told me 10 years ago that you'll be this patient, I would have not even believed you. So God is so good, and he works in our lives truly, and he wants to make us the best version that we can be. He genuinely wants that for us.
That's good.
And I'm excited for the future with Christ. Ooh, because our journey is so fresh. It's not that we gave our lives to Christ.
We're actually so young. Like imagine if we live till maybe 95.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a long time.
Exactly. Like I want to be able to say, I have been walking with the Lord for 30, 40, 50 years.
Wow.
Come on, And I'm excited for that. And also, I pray for us that God continues to somehow comforts us.
Amen.
Especially when no one is there. Amen. And we are alone. Amen. And when we are going through life, that God continues to comfort us and be there for us. And continuously remind us of who we are in him.
Come on.
Remind us that we are so okay. We are so okay, and there is like we don't really have anything to worry about. Of course, we will still worry, and we still have stuff to worry about. But genuinely, we don't have anything to worry about when you think about it that way. Yeah, it's just that I'll be good today, but then tomorrow I'll be like, "Are you sure, God?" And then I start crying. But anyway, we deal with them then. You know?
So it's so interesting. Yeah, like God literally says, "I will be with you till the end of the world." Yeah. Like it means till that time, even till you die or if you're alive when the world ends, I'm still going to be there with you. Yeah. He will be there. Imagine that we have this promise and we worry. Yeah. But this is where we need to also read our Bibles. Because you need to remind yourself. Reminders. Yeah. You need to remind yourself of these things because it's so easy to forget. It's so easy to forget. And especially like our generation. We're so busy. We have so much going on all the time. It's hard and for you to stop. And sometimes it's good things. Yeah. That's the thing. Sometimes you are genuinely doing great things and you are just going about. But that's exactly what I meant when finally you have that moment to slow down, to stop, and you're alone and you're thinking what is happening. Those moments are so important. It's a moment of reflection. And if you're able to reflect and see, then, you'll be definitely better for it because you'll be able to, like go forward in life. You're not gonna stay there, right? And that's good. That's that. I don't even know what we talked about in this episode, guys. Jeez, a lot of stuff. A whole lot. Yeah, but this is what our conversations are like. True. Genuinely, like in real life. In real life, and especially the reason why I also like our like unscripted episodes is because there is always something that we would have not even delved into. Yeah, we always end up talking to ourselves. Like exactly. It's not like we have this topic. Yeah. And then everything is about this topic. Yeah. But we kind of just talk. Yeah. And we touch different areas. Yeah. And I also feel like these episodes resonate with people a lot. They do. Because when I think about all the feedback, people give us feedback for episodes like this where we didn't have a script. We didn't even know what we're going to talk about. But then somehow it hits people like in the right way, in a good way. All right, guys, that's about it. Season 2 is amazing, genuinely. Amazing. I don't know what we did in season 1. Girl, I don't know. But anyway, we started though. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being with us, hearing us talk, rant a little bit. Yeah. And we're going to see you in the next episode. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow, share this video with at least 5 people. Yeah, that would be really good. And then tell those 5 people to share it with 5 people.
Thank you. Send the link of YouTube, because people always be asking, can you send me a link? I'm like, you should be subscribed. And they're like, yeah, I did subscribe. I'm like, so why can't you find us? And they're like, oh, anyway, I'm just teasing.
Patience.
Exactly. Patience. Yeah. I got it. But anyway, thank you guys so much. See you in the next one.
Bye.